water, what animal can you imagine? Yes, I agree that the answer must be fish. But have you ever considered that some fish can survive without water for a few minutes, hours, days, months, or even years? It's hard to think logically how a fish can live without water. Because basically, the habitat of fish is in water. However, the facts show that fish may survive on land for lengthy periods of time, even years, without drinking water. Of course, you will wonder, is there a type of fish like that? The answer is, a lot. But this time I will review several types of fish that are able to survive on land based on their ability to survive without water. Number 1. The fish that are classified as monster fish are incredibly rare freshwater fish that can only be found in Africa, South America, and Australia. Lungfish, which means lungfish, has a lung-like organ that allows it to live on land without having to drink water. The way lungfish live is greatly influenced by the seasons. When there is enough water, they will swim and survive by eating small fish and crustaceans at the bottom of the water. Meanwhile, when the dry season arrives, lungfish will dig a hole in the mud using his mouth and then enter it. He will continue to dig until it reaches a certain depth that makes it comfortable to remain silent. In that hole, the lungfish will secrete a kind of mucus from its hardened skin to form a kind of protection around it like a cocoon. While in such a state, only part of his mouth was left open so that he could continue to breathe. During long hibernation, lungfish adjust their metabolic system. After the water supply is abundant again and the mud softens, then the lungfish comes out of the hole. Some reports claim this fish can live in a dry mud pit for as long as 4 years. In Africa, lungfish are hunted for food by the locals. They often dig fish from dry land. Some said if that fish to have such a strong taste, and for that reason not everyone can enjoy it. Number 2. Tropical fish that live in wetlands can survive for months without water, according to research conducted by U.S. experts. The mangrove rivulus, Rivulus marmoratus, which dwells in mangrove swamps throughout the Americas, is one of these fish species. Once the dry season arrives and the water dwindles, it is not uncommon for the fish, which can only grow to a size of 7.5 centimeters, to be trapped in tree trunk cavities made by insects, coconut shells, and even used cans. They live in groups in holes in the ground and breathe using their skin rather than their gills. Unlike most fish that breathe through gills, mangrove rivulus breathes through skin. When the habitat starts to dry up, they hide in holes in the ground, even coconut shells or drink cans. In hiding, these fish breathe through their skin and can live for months without water. After the rain arrives and the water returns to the habitat, they come out of hiding and live like ordinary fish. Then the results of tests carried out in the laboratory showed the fish survived for more than 66 days without water and food. Surprisingly, his body's metabolic system still functions normally. Not only can it survive without water, the mangrove rivulus fish also has an odd sexual condition. Each fish has testes and ovaries, aka parthenogenesis, so that it can fertilize its own eggs in the body. Number 3. Mudskippers are fish that are more comfortable walking in mud than submerged in water. This is because they belong to the class of amphibians and can live out of water for a long time. This fish is usually found at low tide in mangrove forests. This fish walks by curving its muscular body to the side. Mudskippers are also able to crawl on mud using their fins and tail. This fish spends most of its time on land. When the brackish water is receding, this fish can be seen in the mud which is overgrown with mangrove trees. The respiratory organs of the shootfish are gill-shaped, which has a difference where the inner wall of the gill cover and gill chambers is doubled and has many blood vessels. When on land, mudskippers breathe by retaining water in their enlarged gill spaces and can also breathe through their wet skin. Along the gills and throat remain wet, allowing the exchange of oxygen in the blood vessels when this fish on land. Survival on land is also supported by its ability to breathe through the skin on its body, and also the mucous membrane lining its mouth and throat, which can only be done in humid conditions. Number 4. Catfish has the Latin name Clarias. In addition to being able to survive with various water conditions, catfish can survive for hours on land without water. Catfish can survive a few minutes or even hours because they have an additional respiratory device called arborescence. This tool is a folded membrane filled with blood capillaries located in the upper chamber of the gills. In addition, catfish can also take oxygen from the air. In addition, catfish are also able to move on land. Usually this type is a type of freshwater catfish that lives in Southeast Asia with the scientific name Clarias batrachus. By using data fins or paddles to make wriggling and slithering movements like snakes, until they return to their habitat. Number 5. This fish has the scientific name Channa argus, or a species of fish that can also live long on land. Fish originating from China, Korea, and Russia, this can survive on land for 4 days. This fish is able to linger out of water, both in muddy and humid environments. So when the water in their place dries up, these fish can walk towards the mainland and find a new place to bury themselves in the mud until the water returns, although it can take months. In addition, this fish is also referred to as a very dangerous freshwater predator. It can devour other fish in the pond. Even in several states in America, this fish is designated as a pest fish because it is considered the main suspect in the decline in the growth of local fish. Because of its ability to survive on land, it will build nests during the breeding season among plants near water. Number 6. This fish is a native of Southeast Asia, with the Latin name Anaba testudinus. In Indonesia, this fish is generally called batak fish. While in America, this fish is called climbing perch or climbing gourami. In a dry environment without any water, these fish are still able to survive between 6 to 10 hours. While in a muddy environment, these fish are able to hibernate for months until the rainy season falls. That is one of the reasons why during the rainy season, these fish will suddenly appear in very large numbers. Even in inundation locations without drains such as earthen ponds, these fish will suddenly appear when the pond is filled with water. Those are some facts about some fish with extraordinary abilities, where they are able to survive even without water. Then, what did you think? Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe and share, and always activate the bell, so you are always the first to know about interesting facts about animals in the world. Thanks for watching.